Hi, this is Joe from PrepAgent with my friend Lisa. How's it going, Lisa?
I'm good.
You excited for your exam? Of
Super excited.
course. Everybody says that, but I think it's more nervous than excited. What do you think?
Absolutely. That's why I'm calling you.
You are. Okay, we're going to go over some things today. Mostly, we're going to look at parts of deeds. And like always, everybody who's watching this in YouTube land, if you have any questions, comments, or you think I missed something, you think I could do a little better, put it in the comments below. I am humble enough to know I do not know everything. So your feedback below is appreciated. And I don't mind you making it public because when we all learn together, we learn more. Right, Lisa?
That's right.
Yeah. So with that being said, let's get it started. Okay. What's a deed?
It's a paper that shows proof of ownership.
Nope. Nope. What you just described is something called title. Title is ownership. Okay?
Okay.
Let me give you the stuffy definition here. Here, read that out loud.
A deed is a document that conveys or passes real estate from one party to another, whether you buy a house from a stranger, inherit from your parents, or add your spouse to the home's title. A deed accomplishes the deed of transferring the title.
That sounds rather mumbo jumbo, right?
Kind of.
Let's make it a little simpler. Evidence of transfer.
Okay.
How's that? Does that make it a little easier?
It does.
A deed is just evidence of transfer. Have you gone shopping recently?
Yes.
What'd you buy?
I bought a bathing suit.
A bathing suit. When you got that bathing suit, okay, what'd they give you at the store?
A receipt
What does that receipt mean?
that I purchased it.
That's your deed, that receipt. It
Okay.
doesn't necessarily mean you own it. All it means is that you purchased it. It was evidence of the transfer. Does that make sense? Because you may have bought it for somebody else or whatever
Ab-
purpose, but that receipt represents a deed.
Okay.
Does
That's a
that,
lot clearer.
yeah, does that help put a little perspective? It's much better than this big mumbo jumbo technical definition, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Think of it this way. You have a daughter, correct?
I do.
Okay, so you buy a swimsuit for her. Okay. And you don't want her to lose
Mhm.
it because kids lose stuff all the time. Are you one of those parents that put her name on the back of her swimsuit or back of her shirt?
I don't. I've
Okay, you
seen
know what
that
I'm
done
talking
before.
about. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Think of that like title. Think of that name on the back of her shirt like title. Deed is the evidence of the transfer. Deed's the receipt. But your daughter is the one who actually owns that shirt or owns that swimsuit, whatever it is, because you put her name on it. That's title.
Okay.
I'm
That
sure
makes a
you
lot
put,
of sense.
yeah, I'm sure maybe not a shirt or a swimsuit, but I'm sure you put her name on something at some point. Maybe her lunchbox. I don't know. You're like,
Yeah,
you didn't
something.
do that
A
either.
jacket.
You're like, nope, nope, not that. Okay. So first, I want you to remember that a deed is evidence of a transfer. Title is ownership. Okay. Now, I know we're not talking about this today, but just real quick to review. There's two different ways you could own property. Do you know what they are? And really simplify it. Don't make this more complicated than it is. Do you know what it is?
I don't.
Here, you could own it by yourself or with
Oh yeah.
somebody
Or
else.
somebody.
Okay, now that's not the technical definition. And that's why I said keep it simple, right? You're either with somebody else or by yourself. When you own it by yourself, do you know
Mhm.
what that's called?
Um, severance or
Severalty.
severalty.
Owning in severalty. Okay? And you want to know this for your exam. Okay? And when you own it with somebody else,
Mhm.
it's called a concurrent estate.
Okay.
All right? And there's different types of concurrent estates. And we won't get into it too much now. We'll do that another time, but there's joint tenancy. You ever heard of that before?
Yes.
Tenancy
Tenancy
in
in
common.
common.
Yeah, when they're talking about that, they're talking about different types of concurrent estates, different types of ways you can own it with somebody else. Okay? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's bold.
Yes.
Title is ownership. And it's bold here. Deed is evidence of a transfer. Gotta know that. All right?
Okay.
Okay. All right. A deed is not a sales contract. Can you read that for me, this part?
A deed is not a sales contract. A sales contract is a promise to convey property in exchange for something, usually money. In a contract, a deed isn't promised to convey. It is the conveyance itself.
Okay, once again, sounds kind of mumbo jumbo, right? Sounds like something Charleston
Mm-hmm.
Heston would say. All right, so what are the four essentials of a valid contract? Do you know them?
I know it's acceptance.
Good.
It's offer. No,
Offer
I
and
don't.
acceptance.
Actually, okay, offer and acceptance.
People often call that
Um,
mutual consent or meeting of the minds.
okay.
All means the same thing.
And I'm not sure what the other two are.
Okay, no problem. Consideration.
Consideration.
Okay. Then you have lawful object.
Okay.
Okay.
Capable parties.
Yeah. So what are the four essentials of a valid contract?
Offer and acceptance, consideration, lawful object, and capable parties.
Does consideration have to be money?
No. It could be a hug and a kiss.
Exactly. It could be love and affection. It could be a hug. It could be anything that you think of as valuable. All right.
Right.
So now we go back to this, and this will make a little more sense. A deed is not a sales contract. A sales contract is a promise to convey property in exchange for something, usually money, but as you just said, not always. In contrast, a deed is not a promise to convey, it is the conveyance itself. And what we talk about here is something called an executory contract and executed contract. That's a totally different subject. But my point here is that a deed is just evidence of the transfer. People think of it as a contract, but it's not a contract. It's more like that receipt that I was giving you the example before. And people get that confused a lot.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. A lot more clear.
Yeah. Okay. So you get your proposal, which is the contract. You did it. I bought it. We're good. Now you get the receipt, otherwise known as a deed.
Okay.
Okay. Is performance one of the essentials of a valid contract?
No.
Good. Excellent. Because what are the four essentials of a valid contract?
Consideration, offer and acceptance, capable parties, and lawful object.
Good. Testing you there. I want you to remember that. Got to keep that in mind, right?
Right.
Right. Do you know what the OREE rule is? You ever heard this before?
Yeah, I have. On one of your videos.
Okay, so tell me.
I don't know how it goes.
Well, what do you know about it? Then
I know
I'll work with you a little bit.
like the give or and the trustor and
Excellent.
the I'm not sure. I mean, I
You are
remember I
sure.
heard
You
it.
need more
I feel
confidence.
Like the way to...
Yeah, you're doing it well.
I know.
So what was the gist of it? What was the gist of it? So what is that?
Basically, remember how... Go ahead.
Okay, so the OR is the giver. EE receives. What you're referring to is that little story I do where I go, lessor, vendor, trustor, optional, grantor, the giver, the proprietor for your pleasure. Lessee, vendee, optionee, grantee makes me happy because I have property, right? It sounds kind of goofy and stupid, but you'll totally remember it on your exam.
Right.
I mean, when everybody's looking and you're like, offer or vendor, trustor, rapporteur, for your pleasure. If they look like you're weird, but you'll pass the exam, be like, haha, screw off, I passed. So don't worry about stupid acronyms. Okay, so what is the OR all about? After I just did my little song and dance.
It's the person giving.
Excellent, good. And that's the point of that. Give or, and EE.
And then EE is the person receiving.
Good. Obviously, my spelling's off, but we make the point. EE receives. So let's go back to that shirt you got for your daughter. Are you the giftor or the giftee when you gave her that gift of a shirt?
I'm the giver.
Right. So you're the giftor. I assume it was a gift. Giftor. She received it. She's
Right.
the giftee. Okay. Now, why am I bringing this up now? Well, because we're talking about deeds. And the whole point of deeds is what? What is a deed? What do we say a deed is?
It's a receipt.
Well,
It's evidence of, or it's the evidence of transfer.
good. Don't get too caught up in my example. Receipt was just there to make the point. It's not actually a receipt. That's not going to be an answer on your exam or in life.
Right.
So don't get caught up with that. Okay. So the deed is evidence of the transfer. So obviously, when you have a transfer, there's somebody giving and receiving. So you're going to see this OREE thing come up a lot when you talk about deeds. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, first you have the granting clause, part of the deed. Here, read this out loud.
Okay. The granting clause lists that transferor and the transferee and the statement to effect that the transferor and the transferring to the land of the transferee.
Sounds very complicated, doesn't it?
It does.
But when you break it down and remember my OREE rule, it makes it a little simpler. Because transferor is the giver, okay? Transferee is the person receiving. Basically, all it says is the granting clause, that thing that names the guy given to the guy receiving. That's it. That's all it is. And when you see this legalese, if you can remember things like the OR and EE rule, it'll really break it down to make it much more simple. So all the granting clause really does is list that you, Lisa, are giving me the property, Joe. You're the grantor, I'm the grantee. Do you know what a quitclaim deed is?
I know it's like the worst deed you could have.
Why do you say it's the worst?
Isn't it like it's just like transferring the title and you really don't know if it's a good title. A lot of people that are going through a divorce get the quitclaim deed, I believe.
Yeah.
And they're just conveying the interest, the rest of the interest that they have. I'm not sure actually.
You are sure. You're doing well. No, you're doing very well. Okay.
Okay.
So what got me is you said it's the worst one. Whereas really none are bad or good. They all just serve different purposes. Like nobody made a deed like, let's make one that's horrible. Let's make a horrible deed. This one's going to be the worst, right? Like they never make it with that intention. So quitclaim deed does have a purpose.
Okay.
You use the example of a couple getting a divorce. Okay. Why would they prefer to use a quitclaim deed? Like, what's that point of that quitclaim deed?
Because they're just conveying the interest that they have, and it doesn't show ownership for.
So you're doing well. So the basic point I'm getting at, a quitclaim deed is the quickest way to transfer interest. Okay? It's just an immediate transfer, which is why people make this mistake all the time. It's not a quick claim. It's a quit claim. Okay? I hear people all the time say, quitclaim deed, quitclaim, quitclaims. It sounds similar. And the reason they think of that is it's a way to quickly transfer interest. Okay? Let me give you an example. Father wants to give property to his son. He doesn't need, the property. He wants to give it to him. He wants it in his son's name. Should he use a quitclaim deed?
Yes.
Yeah, because usually you want to do it when there's a position of trust involved. Because there's no warranties. So you use the example of a divorce. It's not a matter of them checking the property, see what's going on. They're just transferring their interest immediately. So,
Mm-hmm.
for example, if we're married, right, and under the marriage statutes of our state, we have the property together. But there's a problem. You have great credit. I have terrible credit and terrible income. You basically didn't marry a big winner. You married a big loser here. Okay? No credit, no income, no nothing. You can't get a loan with me there. You could get a loan, just be far worse. So what the lender may do is say, Lisa, you know what? Have Joe quitclaim his interest over to you. And then it's easier to get the loan because you got great credit. He's just a big bump here. He's not helping you at all. So I could quitclaim that interest so that we could live in the house and we could get a better loan under your name. Does that make sense?
Yes.
There's lots of scenarios
Okay.
where you would use this. But the basic gist of it,
So a lot of
yeah?
I was going to say, so it's basically you do have to have trust. You have to know that he actually holds title to the what he's conveying, that his interest.
You generally
Correct?
want to know them personally. Here, read what I have on the board here.
Okay. Quitclaim deeds often are used when property isn't sold. Examples include when the owner adds the spouse's name to the title, and when a former spouse's name is removed from the title after divorce, and the property is transferred to a living trust, and parents want to transfer the property to a child.
Now, there's many examples. Those are not all of them. I was just writing down a few to make the point. Because the property isn't sold, you're just transferring the interest. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Here, so quitclaim deed is a legal instrument which is used to transfer interest to real property. The entity transferring interest called the grantor, and when the quitclaim deed is property completed and executed, transfers in any interest of the grantor has the property to a recipient called the grantee. And if you remember my OREE rule, who's the grantee? Who is this guy, the grantee?
The receiver.
Good. Why? I don't know why. I know it just has an EE at the end of it. Therefore, that's the answer, right? So the quitclaim deed says, I'm not warranting what I own, but I'm transferring what I do own to you. Basically all it says. And this segues us into something else. This thing called a warranty deed. Okay? Now, some states use a grantee. The state you're in, you use a warranty deed. A warranty deed guarantees certain things. Can you read that last paragraph there?
With a quitclaim deed, the grantee has no legal recourse if problems with the title turn up, or if a forgotten lien holder emerges from the woodwork. There isn't a title policy. That's why it's a risker. On the other hand, a lot of quitclaims are executed when the property stays in the family, and that reduces the risk.
Okay, so there's a lot going on in that sentence. Okay? First of all, who's the grantee? Who do we say?
The grantee is the person receiving.
Okay. What is title?
Title is ownership.
Okay, a forgotten lien holder. Oof, it's a big word. What's a lien?
Lien is money owed.
Excellent, good. So what would a lien holder be?
I'm not sure.
That'd be the person who the money's owed to. So, like the bank
Okay.
could be a lien holder, somebody files a mechanic's lien, or if you lose a judgment. So that's the lien holder. Okay? So
Okay.
So basically, I transfer property to you as the grantee, and then I turn up out of nowhere as the lien holder and say, hey, Lisa, that guy you bought it from? Well, he bought it from a guy who owes me a lot of money. I never got my money. And you'll say, I don't care. It's not my problem. And I will say, kind of is your problem because my lien is attached to the property. Does that make sense?
Okay.
And that's
Yes.
the whole point of the warranty deed. The warranty deed is there to make sure that doesn't happen. And there's something else you have. You have something called a title policy, title insurance. Do you know what that is?
No.
So what's title? What'd you say it was?
Title is ownership.
Okay. So when you have title, okay, you have title insurance. That's basically insurance to make sure that what you have is called clear and marketable title, to make sure everything's okay. And they check something called a chain of title. You ever heard this term before? A chain of title?
Yes.
What does that mean?
It's they go back to the very beginning
Chain of
to
title.
see all of the previous.
Perfect. History of ownership.
History of ownership.
Okay, it's basically what you just said. Same thing. They go back and see who's owned it. Why is that important? Because if Bill sells it to Bob and Bob sells it to Sam, but Bill had a problem when he transferred to Bob, well, then it's a problem for Sam. And so they check the history to make sure all the transfers were done correctly. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so you got these warranty deeds, right? In certain states, you would use a grant deed. So, warranty deed, for those of you in other states that don't use this, this may be more familiar to you when you talk about grant deeds. Okay, but you use a warranty deed. And a warranty deed basically warrants that the seller has the right to sell it. Okay? So if you look at it, it says the grantor is rightful owner. So basically, it's yours to sell. There's no outstanding claims, liens. The property can't be claimed by somebody else. In other words, nobody else can say, hold on, Lisa, you can't sell it. It's mine. It's mine. It's mine. Okay? And a title insurance can back up the claim of warranty deed. Title insurance won't back up a quitclaim deed. Why? Because a quitclaim deed says, I don't know anything. I'm just signing this over. Boom. It's going over to somebody else. So when you sign me over a quitclaim deed, I'm accepting all the good parts and the bad parts. What it is what I'm getting. That's it.
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay, good. Do you know what the difference between a general warranty deed and a special warranty deed is?
I know general warranty deed covers a lot more, covers 5 things. I'm not sure exactly what it is.
It's much
But
simpler
no, I
than
can't
you're
really.
making it out to be. Okay. Here, I'll tell you. So, a general warranty deed and a special warranty deed will both ensure that the seller owns the property, no liens, all that good stuff. That's free and clear marketable title. Here, both general warranty deed can be used for real estate or property sold, like we just said. The difference between a warranty deed and a special warranty deed is the extent of the coverage of the warranty, which is kind of what you just said, right? So big whoop. Okay, nothing big here. Okay, here's the difference for you. A special warranty deed covers the period of time for which the seller owns it. A general warranty deed, general warranty is for buyers who wish to ensure they won't face title challenges and make sure that it's an unbroken chain. Does that make sense?
Unbroken chain?
Chain of title. Remember that chain of title?
Okay, yes.
The history of ownership. So the special warranty deed will say, all right, Lisa, you sold to me. I'm making sure everything's fine in your duration of ownership while Lisa owned the property. A general warranty, which is what you're more likely going to use when you sell real estate, will go back from you to the person you bought it from to the person they bought it from and so on down the line.
Okay.
That's the one you're more likely going to use when you transfer a traditional house, when you buy a house.
Okay.
Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay, Lisa, you got any more questions for me?
I do not.
Okay, good. So we went over some basic things here. Hopefully that helped. And like I said before, if anybody has any comments, please put them in the show notes below. Other than that, this is Joe from PrepAgent saying goodbye. And thank you, Lisa.